And now we're going to go live to our custom stream. I hope it works. If not, oh, good. It is working. Whew. Since we had that one time that it didn't work, I'm always like, oh, yeah, it does make me nervous for sure. All right, it looks like we are connecting. That's awesome. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to clearproptv.com, PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. If you're listening to us, you can also go to paratalk.org. This is part of runintothe.sky.org, our nonprofit. Welcome, Butch Fly. I see you in the super chat. Kramer, welcome. Good to see you too. Travis DuPont. John Wayne. John Wayne's always here. We need to just send him a bunch of stuff because he's always here and he always wins. And of course, Will Fly and everybody else here on the panel. Jeremy just popped in. Good to see you, Jeremy. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight, we are going to be talking with Mark Barron. He has a lot of fun things that we're going to be talking about. But before we get to Mark, let's go ahead and say hello to everybody on the panel. James Bevel from JBPPG. Tonight, he's going to be giving away a sticker, a decal. What you got going on, buddy?
Like I said, I come up with it a couple weeks ago. It ain't even hit the website yet. So whoever wins the spinning wheel for it tonight will be the first one to see it.
Oh, that sounds awesome. A little shout out to him, to JB, James Bevel, because I got my very own PPG Grandpa mug that also has Run Into the Sky on the other side. If you want to get mugs, definitely get up with JB over at JB PPG. Thank you very much, James. We definitely appreciate you, buddy. No, we also got Butch Fly in the house. What's up, Butch Fly?
What's going on?
Butch, so it's fly, Butch Fly, like a bird.
Like a bird.
Yeah, because that's the first thing that you said, right? When you landed, like, I flew like a bird.
Yep, and it's stuck.
That's awesome. So how many flights you got today? You got a couple flights in, right?
Yep, I got 6 and 7 in today.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. He is our very first person that we got in for runintothe.sky.org, a nonprofit organization to help disabled vets and disabled people run into the sky. And he's the first guy to run into the sky, and his name is Butch Fly. Oh, my.
No lie.
Oh,
Well, congratulations, Butch, on all that fun stuff that you're doing. Can't wait to do some more cross countries with you.
thank you.
So got Butch, or we also got Scuba Steve in the house. What's up, Scuba Steve?
What's up? Just back in from the spring wing fly-in, and we went live and waited for Will, and then there was a time discrepancy. So crap happens, but here we are.
Awesome. You do a show on Fridays. What is that about, and how do we get to it?
Fridays, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. I mainly talk about vaping, but I also talk about paramotors, and maybe I'm going to split channels before too long and just make a separate paramotor channel. You can just go to paramotordude.com. That'll take you right to it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Scuba Steve. We always appreciate you. We also got Jim from Canada, with his Kangook America hat and his maple syrup smelling money. Good to see you, my friend.
It's good to be here.
Well, excellent. You are going to be giving away a PPG calendar from ppgcalendar.com?
That's correct.
Am I still worth 10% on your website?
Most definitely. Anybody who mentions PPG Grandpa will get 10% off any order that they make.
That is awesome. Well, we are so glad that you're here, but we know that you're driving, so I'm not going to hang on you too long. But if you guys want to go over and check out Jim up in Canada, he does make a lot of decals, which are decals, stickers, paramotor calendars, anything that you want. Go over to carepp.com and check that out. You want to see his shenanigans? Go to careppg.com. Good to have you, Jim. And your maple syrup smelling money. We also got Linda Anderson from ParamotorUSA.com. How you doing, Miss Linda?
Hey, welcome my panel.
Pom-poms.
To be here Monday night's always my favorite night of the week, you know that. And welcome, chatters. I'm so glad that you're all here with us on Monday night. It's going to be a great show. We got Mark in the house tonight, and he's going to talk about all his flying adventures and all the good stuff. And if you want to be a guest on my show like Mark, then go to ParamontUSA.com, which takes you right to my Facebook page, and you can DM me, you can call me, whatever you got to do, and say, hey, I want to be on, what do I say? I want to be on your show. There you go.
Yeah, so it's not PPG Grandpa's show anymore. It's Paramount's
Okay.
show. I don't know. That's all right. I'll give it to her. She helps us out so much. It's awesome. So thank you, Linda. We definitely appreciate you. You want to be on the show? Make sure you go to ParamontUSA.com. It does forward over to her Facebook page. PM her, DM her, whatever you want to do. She'll hook you up.
That's right.
Thank
You got
Linda.
it.
We appreciate you. We also got Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. What's up, my brother?
What's up? It's good to be here Monday night. My favorite show to be on, 8 p.m. YouTube Mondays. Just got back from 7 days of just pure paramotor bliss at Bad Apples.
Oh,
Dang, man, it's kind of like, I don't know, visiting New York City and then coming home to Mayberry. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow. It's condensed soup for paramotors. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to talk about stuff like that. And it's good to be here. It's good to not be moving.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now you make a lot of videos, and your videos are really awesome. Tell us about your videos and how do we get up with your YouTube channel so we can watch them?
Yeah, sure. I love paramotors, flying, and I love making videos about it. Not just my adventures, but the adventures of others too. So yeah, you can check me out at willflyppg.com or search for Willfly on YouTube. Should take you to me. Also, the Bad Apples 2023 video is going to drop third quarter of 2024. So stay tuned.
That makes sense. So if you haven't been over to Will's YouTube channel, make sure you go over to willflyppg.com, subscribe and hit that bell notification because, you want to see about Bad Apples in, a year or so. All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much. He's going to be doing the spinning wheel winning things tonight. So if you want to win something, make sure you say hello at Will Fly in the super chat. And of course, if you got questions tonight, make sure that you post them in the super chat, tagging at least Will Fly, if not Jim, Scuba Steve, James, Butch Fly, Paramom. Not so much me because I don't really see the super chat when we're doing this. But tonight is not about me. It's not about the panel. Tonight is all about Mark. Mark Barron, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going amazing. I wish I went to Bad Apples. I wish I was able to go to all these awesome fly-ins. But, I will definitely do that pretty soon. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get into paramotoring?
Sure. So I've been flying since 2017. I, of course, saw it on YouTube. It was before Tucker got, though, so I didn't see him until after I was already doing it. That's where most people get into this sport, I guess. So I found it was weird. I was looking up kiteboarding for some reason because I was going down to Florida once a year. And then I realized going down to Florida once a year wasn't going to be enough to learn kiteboarding. So I looked into other things and I was looking at landboarding. And so that looked like it would hurt a lot. And then for whatever reason, with the magic of YouTube suggestion engines, I saw a video about paramotoring. And so I was like, that looks fun. So I looked up an instructor that was local to me. His name was Michael O'Daniel. And he lived within about 30 minutes from me. So I went and trained with him, as did many of the locals around here. Unfortunately, we lost Michael to a paragliding accident in 2020. But the rest of us still continue on his legacy and kind of try and keep the good nature of flying free, as we call it. It's one thing to fly around and not have many rules, and it's another thing to fly around and abuse those rules. So Michael taught us all to fly with responsibility. So that was cool. That's how I got into it. But I would say the dream of flight started in my 20s. I actually was trying to get into a private pilot's license. For whatever reason, as a young 18-year-old, I wanted to take my girlfriends to further places than I could drive, like Martha's Vineyard and stuff like that. So I started learning how to fly. In the middle of that flying, I got about 30 hours in, and I met a girl and decided I wanted to do other things with my weekends than flying. So that girl became my wife. We became a family, and she kept throwing me coupons like test flights and things like that. Like, you should get back into this. And I never did. But the thing I liked about flight was the complete 6 degrees of motion that you can do, right? So paramotoring has scratched that itch for me in more ways than one. So
Now, I know on the pre-show we talked about you are getting into paragliding,
mhm.
and it sounds like you actually like paragliding more than paramotoring. Tell us a little bit about the paragliding and why you kind of like that more than the paramotors.
Yeah, like everybody in this sport, I've been struggling with the perfect headset combination with, enough sound reduction as well as the right radios and everything else. The motor just is loud. And so I've even bought an electric. I have an SP140, which is great because when you kill the motor and you're idling, you get no motor sound in the background, right? It's wonderful. And even the prop sounds, a little quieter than the actual motor of a Moster 185. But it doesn't quite compare to free flight. I went down to Costa Rica with One Up Adventures in March, I believe. And Travis and Kyle were prepping us on the way down there. And I was like, hey, I'm going to bring a radio. Is everybody going to have a radio? And he's like, what do you need a radio for? I'm like, well, when I paraglide, aren't I going to have to talk to you? Because I've never done it before. He goes, we're just going to yell to you. So I was like, really? That's how it works? So literally I ran off the mountain, and I knew what I was doing because I've been paragliding, but he was like, yeah, go ahead, turn right, turn right. And I could hear everything he said. It was wonderful. So that's why I like paragliding. I've only done it once though, so I wouldn't say that I like it better than paramotoring yet. I might get scared to death if I go up in thermals and stuff. So
Do you plan on going up more often? I mean, I know that you got the SP140, so you
Mhm.
can actually paraglide with that. You can take off, get up to altitude, go fly. I personally have flown the SP140, and I love it. It actually feels like it has more power than the Moster 185. It kind of feels like a 220 to me.
yeah, me too. I think it's more powerful, but it's not lighter. So, Miro, you guys know the engineer that founded Scout Paramotors. He was on the Wingman Challenge, which we can talk about later on. But I was on the Wingman Challenge in September with him, and he just invented a flying pod or whatever, I forget what he calls it, but it's
It's
very
Scout Zero.
lightweight. It's much more lightweight than the SP140. The SP140, from a weight ratio, the battery, I use the larger battery, so it's 40 pounds, and the frame and the seat and everything else is about 35. So I've weighed both my Moster full of fuel and the SP140. They're both about 80 pounds, a little shy of 80 pounds. But the problem is the SP140 doesn't burn electrons. So you land with the same 80 pounds on your back as you do if you take off with gas. But to your point, the SP140 is wonderful, but I would say that soaring, I could do the same soaring. The reason I brought up the weight is because I could probably do the same amount of soaring with the motor itself, the Moster. But the idea of just killing the motor and just gliding is wonderful, right? That's the benefit.
Yeah, I like to go up like on a Atom 80 and get up really high with a hybrid wing like the Gen Vantage
Mhm.
3. It's a motor / mountain wing, so there's lots of lift. So I can get up really high with the Atom 80, kill it, pop off the muffs, and just do all the gliding without all the para weighting on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's unfortunately what I really don't like is the para weighting on top of the mountain. But you seem to like it a lot, which is awesome.
Well, I haven't experienced the pair weighting yet, so that might be why I might not like it, right? So,
Gotcha.
I did join the local club. It's the Capital Hang Gliding and Paragliding Association here. And I literally joined it a week ago. So I'm on their Slack channel and I'm seeing all their chats and, about when they're going out to which locations. All the locations in the Shenandoah Valley where I live are about 30 minutes away from me. So they're pretty close. But, they're all like landing out and then somebody has to come get them. So, that part of it I may not like either. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. That pod that you're talking about, an electric pod, I've seen it. I think it's awesome. Are they selling it yet? Because last time I saw it, they were still in production.
Yeah, he's got a couple of betas out right now with some folks, and he's trying to get some feedback before he puts it out in production. That and the variable prop that he built, that's pretty cool. He flew the variable prop that changes pitch as you change the throttle. So as you're taking off, it gives you more thrust. And as you're up in the air, it changes the pitch to where it'll just give you enough to keep you airborne. But he's working on that as well.
I did not hear about that. Do you know the name of that or where that's located?
All I know is it's his variable prop. It's on the
Right.
Scout. If you go to the Scout site, it's probably there. And yeah,
It's not available yet.
what's that?
It's not available yet. It's still in production. They're doing
Yeah.
testing and stuff like that. But
Yeah, he's
the
perfecting.
pod with the assist with the Atom 80, that's available.
Yeah,
I
Is
just
that
saw
what we're
one this
talking about?
weekend.
Power pod,
Oh.
yes.
yeah.
No,
That's not
what we're talking about.
Scouts.
We're talking
Yeah, that's not
about
Scouts.
the-
That's a different one. Yep.
Oh, that's the one that I was
Zero.
talking about. That's
Yeah,
the one
me
I saw.
too.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Scout Zero.
That is intriguing. Seriously.
Yeah.
Scout Zero is virtually the same thing. It's an Atom 80 with a very small tank, about 6 liters.
Yeah.
And it's got a pod harness, and you just go up in the middle of the day, and then if you have a paragliding wing, you can paraglide. It's really cool. Saw one go up. Guy got up about 40 meters, and then he glided in the thermals. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll try and find it and pop it in the chat if I can.
Mark, you said you saw a video when you first got started that like piqued your interest. I'm curious. Do you remember which video it was?
Of course. I don't like to promote the guy, but it was Del Shanzi when he went into a cul-de-sac and got out of his truck and said, "Let's go fly." And he was in the air in 5 minutes and then down on the ground in 5 minutes. So that's how I got into it. I didn't know who the guy was at the time. So I've never met him. I can't talk bad about him. I've met his nephew. His nephew is nothing like him. So, yeah, that's
Travis.
Travis. Yep.
Yep.
He was on the Wingman Challenge as well. Very nice guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Well, we won't hold that against you.
All right.
Totally understand. I think that everybody watches different. I mean, you hear about paramotors. What are you going to do? Right? You're going to search for paramotors, and there's a lot of people out there that, put a lot of content out there. I do have something to show. I wonder if I can actually pop this up. Have you ever seen the hoop props? The
Yes.
props that are not straight, they're hoops.
I've been looking at those. In fact, my son's going to be an aeronautical engineer when he goes to college, or he wants to be. We'll see if he. So I shared that with him, and I was like, "Hey, have you seen these props? You should try this." And apparently, they're silent.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
toroidal.
They keep
Toroidal. Yeah.
saying that they're better for water and not air. So I don't know if they're gonna ever.
I've seen some drones. Yeah, that's
Already
it.
got 'em on the drones. Yeah.
yeah, so these are the hoop props. So I would really like to see if we can come up with a paramotor hoop prop. It makes it very low noise, and it seems like they have a lot more thrust.
Yeah, you throw
So-
one of those on an electric, on an SP-140, you're golden.
That's what I was thinking. So anybody in the super chat, have you seen these hoop props?
Bill
And
H says it's a toroidal.
Yeah, it's a weird name. That's why I didn't even try it.
Gerardo.
So yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to see if we can actually maybe come up with a way of making a
There it
paramotor.
is. Toroidal.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on there.
So I think that's pretty neat. I mean, all the different things that yeah, 10 years ago, it was really difficult to get up in the air, right?
Mhm.
Because of the fabric, the really heavy motors, higher hang points. And now the fabric is so light. I mean, you can do a reverse in like 2 mile an hour wind. I mean, the power to weight has changed a lot also. We got what, Fly It Wyatt that's out there. So Fly It Wyatt. Can you guys hear me okay? I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
I don't know why it is.
Fly It Wyatt. Didn't he start at 8 or 9 years old? He was over at Bad
9
Apple
years,
a
I
couple of
think.
years ago, and he flies like single skin wings and a little Atom 80, I think. And
Hmm.
he's not that heavy, and he's able to go fly a paramotor at 10 years old.
Yeah, he's growing up. Yeah, he's on Instagram. I follow him on there. Every once in a while,
Mhm.
he puts a video on. Some of the videos are he's throwing like he likes to throw candy out, throw candy out of the paramotor or whatever when he's
Mhm.
flying. That's his thing. He always
Well, if
has
it doesn't
candy.
hit somebody in the eye, I guess it's all right.
Yeah,
I,
he
I
always
think
has
he's
candy.
actually testing the candies, the chocolate bars and stuff like
Yeah,
that. As
yeah.
kind of like the
Yeah.
advertisement for them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's actually throwing them.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Interesting.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, Sean, I can't wait till the technology just gets better with the battery technology too. Like right now, I have about a 45 to 50-minute flight on the SP-140. When that gets to 2 hours, I'm getting rid of my combustion engine.
I agree. Now, are you flying it in sport mode or econo mode?
So I've tried both. So I prefer the econo mode, the chill mode.
Yeah.
Just because it's got a heck of a lot of torque if you hit that thing, and it's so sensitive. The throttle is so sensitive that I'm just worried that I'm going to mash it and drive myself into the ground. So
That actually happened this weekend to a guy who just got his SP-140 and the power just overtook him
yeah.
and smacked it. So it was
Yeah.
sad.
Well, depending on which firmware you have, the chill mode actually has a slower ramp up time, but it also has a slower slowdown time. So, because it's all electronic, right? So when you're going up and revving it up and you're leaning back and you're kind of holding it, as soon as it starts to take over in a gas power, you let off the throttle and all of a sudden you don't have to worry about it. But with the SP-140, you let up and it's still pushing you. You really got to be careful because it winds down slower as well as winds up slower. It's not exactly like a combustion engine. The
I never
behavior.
thought of the winding down part. So that would be important. That's a little bit of a learning curve there. Of course,
Yeah.
if you start with an electric paramotor, you wouldn't know any different.
True.
You'd be used
Yeah.
to it.
How much does the battery cost?
$1,800 for an hour battery, unless
Yeah.
it went up. I heard that. I actually heard that it went up, so it's probably more than $1,800 for an hour battery now.
Yeah, they've put a few more components in it. They put an on-off switch in the one that they're selling now, 1,800 or 2,000, something like that. But the overall package isn't much different than a regular motor, right? I mean, it's like $6,500, $7,000. I bought mine for $7,000 a year ago.
And if you think about it, you don't have to mix gas and oil. You don't have to do your maintenance. You don't have to change out spark plugs.
Nope.
So, I mean, there's a lot of advantages, to having an electric paramotor, and especially if you're just that guy that wants to go out and, tool around for an hour. Now, my friend Neil, he has the SP-140 that I used, and he said that he was up there for more than an hour, tooling around.
Yeah.
It's much,
I think
he
If you
weighs
get the
less
right
than
weight.
me. He weighs less than me, so I can kind of see that.
You know, y'all brought up the props and stuff, and the Scout Aviation guy, I can't think of his name, but
Miro.
Nero?
Miro.
Miro. Okay. He also has this prop he's working on where, or I should say this coating that he's working with somebody else that he's going to be putting on props that make them almost indestructible.
Yeah, he nails a nail into a piece of wood or
Yeah.
something with it.
He nailed a nail down in some wood with the prop. Doesn't even hurt it. He couldn't even sand it. It says if they ever have to get out any imperfections, they have to sand it for hours and hours just to get a little bit off of it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You need to look at the Scout Aviation channel on YouTube. He's got it on there. It's just a thin coating that goes on the leading edge of the blade of the prop. And he literally was just banging the thing like crazy on a nail, and it does nothing to it.
Yeah.
And what is the prop? What am I searching for? Indestructible prop or what?
Pretty much. Yeah. Indestructible
Oh,
prop.
It's the variable pitch prop.
Well, no, he's got a variable pitch prop, but he also has a coating, another prop that he's doing coatings on that he's going to be putting on the variable pitch prop. So he's going to have both things on one prop.
Yeah. You want me to, I don't know if I can share my screen. Can I share my screen?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We allow everybody to share the screen.
All right. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this is it. This is the, let me close all this down.
Here's the link to the indestructible propeller. I'll put it in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's the YouTube chat.
So he just took a prop and broke a concrete block with it?
Yeah. See just that black strip? That's all it is.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's concrete or foam. But yeah, if it's concrete, that's pretty cool.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
definitely.
this is him
Now he's
chopping the
going
head
to
of
hit
a,
a garden
gnome.
gnome. I don't think that's foam.
No, that's not. Yeah. The innovation that this guy and his team comes up with, it's pretty cool. I mean, he
Oh,
built,
there's the nails.
yeah, there you go. He built a saddlebag system for the Scout Paramotor that I used during the Wingman Challenge.
Yeah.
That we were able to carry all of our camping gear, our extra oil. He even had a bladder system where you can carry an extra 2 gallons of fuel because the 3 gallons that's in the Scout, isn't the 5-gallon limit. It was pretty cool that all the innovation that he's come up with. Whoops, let me close all this stuff. Oh, you can read my email.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The
Yeah.
stuff they're coming out with. That'll be really good for props, especially that like foot dragging through gravel and stuff, because it just destroys props.
I agree. This is his
Very
pod.
expensive.
Oh, okay. So basically it's a paramotor with a free flight pod.
Yeah, it's got no stand though. So it's really got very little weight. You have a stand that you put it on and take it off with, but it doesn't stand on its own. So that's part of the weight removal. So
That's interesting.
yeah. It reduces the weight by taking more of the stuff that you don't need while you're in the air away.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yep. So good stuff. If you don't follow Miro, it's well worth it to follow him just to see what he's working on, and him and his team.
It is really interesting.
That material he's chopping through there.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what that was. I didn't listen to it, so it might talk about it if you do it.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but
it's concrete.
that is really interesting. Does anybody in the super chat know anything about that indestructible prop or the variable pitch prop? If you want to, if you're listening to this later on after the show, just text me 501-747-3558 if you have any links to the variable pitch prop or that indestructible prop, or know anything more about it, or if you have one, or if you're a beta tester, please let me know. This is so interesting. One of the reasons why I like to do this show is because I learn stuff all the time. Every Monday I learn something, and this is something I have not heard before.
If I would have had that coating, it could have prevented this.
Yes.
Yep.
Because I mean, that's exactly where that was at on the blade. Yeah.
Hey, since you already broke that, see if you can break a garden gnome and see if you can nail in some wood with that. No? All right.
Yeah. These are the saddlebags that he's invented. So these go on the side on any swing arm. If you have a swan arm, this will go where the hook end point is. I don't know if you can see it. So that just kind of sits over, and then it's got all these little tags that hold it close to the rest of the motor. And so it's pretty big. It unzips to get bigger. And I got a whole bunch of crap in it, but this is what we used when we were on the Wingman Challenge to carry a tent, a sleeping bag, a sleeping pad, water, clothes, anything you needed to survive for 3 days. It's kind of like his version of the Icarus race, this Wingman Challenge. I don't know if you guys know, he raced in the Icarus race back in, I think it was 2016, and he didn't win. But what he liked about it was the camaraderie that he had with the person that he linked up with, and they were flying together, and he called him his wingman. And he actually cut up his wing and he had a really bad launch at one point, and his wingman had already taken off, but he was able to find somebody to give him a new wing. But he found that at the next checkpoint, his wingman waited for him. Like, he could have won the Icarus race, but he actually waited because he was his buddy and he wanted to make sure he was okay. So he took that part of the Icarus race and the challenge of having an assisted and unassisted type cross-country trip, and he made the Wingman Challenge, and it was 3 legs of 400 miles. Each 400 miles, you're on your own. And when you get to the end of the 400 miles, you stay in a posh little resort for a day and a mandatory rest day, which ended up being the repair day for everybody. So we had to fix all our stuff that broke. And then you'd do it again, and you'd have 3 legs of that. And it was pretty neat. I mean, I can't tell you the highs and the lows that I had during that trip. It was wonderful. And it was also the worst trip I've ever had. I mean, I was like ready to quit the whole sport and everything. I fell on launch because I was taken off from a 7,000 foot elevation runway in, I think, I don't even know where, Bridgeport or something like that, and cut open my knee. And I almost like, hey, we're close to Vegas. Take me to Vegas and I'll fly home. And everybody's like, no, come on, you can do this. You can stick it out. So, people lifted you up. People kind of kept you in the game, and it was pretty cool. The camaraderie of it was pretty neat.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, and I really like this. I like the paramotor community that we have. I mean, the community is absolutely amazing. Everybody pulls together. Everybody helps one another, especially in fly-ins. Man, you break a prop and there's like 3 people here. Do you need a prop here? Do you need a prop? I mean, just amazing people. Really,
Agreed.
really amazing. It is 7:33, so let's go ahead and do a thumbnail real quick. What do you think, Will? Good time to do a thumbnail? Excellent. No? All right.
We don't need to hear what he's saying. He's doing it.
Yeah, Will's always on mute. He doesn't care.
Boy, I
Always on
barely
free.
got my glasses off. Whew.
So it's a great time to do a thumbnail.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready? Let's see, let me get lined up here. 1, 2, 3. We got it,
Yay.
man.
I'm loving my mug. I lift it up and it disappears on the screen.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
I
funny.
didn't put mine out there because I know I probably when you take the picture, I'll drop it or the mug or something. So
Yeah, so do I understand you would not do the Wingman Challenge again? It's kind of a one-time thing?
yeah, it kind of sounds like it was a great one-timer.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were a couple of circumstances that I would change if I did it again. First of all, I signed up with a buddy of mine, the same buddy that I went to Costa Rica with, and I've been flying with for 4 years. And he called me 2 weeks before we were supposed to fly out to Reno and said, hey, I just caught COVID. I don't think I'm going to be able to go to this thing. So I immediately got on the Slack channel with everybody else that was doing their planning and everything. And I was like, hey guys, you guys have a great flight. I'm bowing out. And everybody said, no, come on, you can come in. You can fly with me. And so I went. And then as I got there, and even on my way there, I was like, man, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know any of their flying styles. I don't know if they're going to push me beyond my limitations that I want to fly in. So I did connect with a couple of guys with my flying style, and we had a great time. But that was the anxiety that I had. Some of the guys that were on it actually lived out west, so they knew the conditions. They could fly at 7,000 foot elevation. I'm from Virginia. I fly at 300 feet elevation, so I didn't.
That's about what we have is about 300 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So my first flight was, I was, the paramotor itself costs 80 or weighs 80 pounds, and I had 30 pounds of gear on me. So I was running with 120 pounds at 7,000 feet, trying to get in the air. And so I did it, thankfully, on the first try, and that was the confidence builder I needed for the rest of the trip. But guys like Judson, he was flying on a real small wing, and he learned real quick that when you're weighted down, he didn't get off the ground. He actually he ended up in the sagebrush at the end of a very long tarmac. He just wouldn't get any lift. So to answer your question, would I do it again? I probably would, if enough time went by and I forgot how bad it was. Because the peaks were really good. I mean, flying over the Hoover Dam and Mount Zion, and I have a couple of pictures of me flying over Monument Valley. That's the whole reason I wanted to go out there and fly. It's because of the locations. But when we got there, there was a cyclone or typhoon or whatever you call it on the West Coast. It's not a hurricane, that was sitting on the on outside of LA, and it was just creating this huge storm system. So the joke was, no matter which way you fly, you're flying in a headwind. So we were flying in like 20, 30 mile an hour headwinds. So you'd plan out your 400 miles in your 3 days. And you're like, okay, I got to go about 120 miles today. Well, if you only go 5 miles on the first flight in 2 hours, you know what's coming. So
Not very encouraging, is it?
it's not. So everything was against us pretty much, but I might do it again. I don't know. I might wait till a little.
Maybe you could be ground support.
That's exactly what I would
There
do.
you
Now,
go.
ground support was amazing too. So ground support was pretty cool. We all had Garmin InReach satellite trackers on us. One of the guys did have a collapse, and he had to throw a reserve, and he was at
Oh my.
10,000. He was trying to climb over a 10,000 foot mountain. I forget which mountain it was, but he was 2,000 feet above the ground, thankfully. And when he started to fall, he tried to fix stuff, and then he just started getting wrapped up, and he just threw his reserve. But he hiked 5 miles with his motor and his wing, with a missing fingertip, because one of his fingertips got ripped off from the lines. And ground crew, he had to do that because the nearest road was 5 miles away from where he was. So
Oh
there
my
were some
God.
gnarly things that happened. It wasn't
Wow.
all roses. But
Wow.
Those are less than ideal conditions. So I mean, I could see how something like that, could happen.
Yeah.
You don't think about lines causing a digit, the removal of a digit, but they are strong. They can break a
Yeah.
prong. So
Yeah. I will say that one of the most memorable positive things that I had was everybody flew from the second location that we were at. I think it was called Kingston Ranch or something. And we were all flying. There was only one gas station within a 100-mile radius of us. So all of us went to this one place, and all of us got up at different times, but we all ended up at this place called Stan's Burger Shack. I forget where it is, but we all flew in. And as I was landing, there was a train of Harleys that came in at the same time. So we had Harleys coming in and paramotors coming in and all these, and we got down on the ground. We all high-fived, and guys on the motorcycles came over to us and go, "That's really cool." And we went over to them going, "That's really cool." We just kind of bonded our land and air two strokes or whatever. Harleys aren't two strokes, but you know what I mean.
I understand. Motors, just
Motors. We were all
motors, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. A lot of fun.
That's cool. It sounds like it.
Yeah, and the views are spectacular. It's so different flying out west. If you have any of you guys flown out west?
The
I've
most
lived out west, but not flown out west.
Doesn't count, Linda.
I highly recommend flying out west. You fly out west, get yourself to Monument Valley somehow and fly over those buttes or whatever they're called. Oh my God, they're gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
We were driving through a park because it was a bad windy day. So the three of us that were flying and the guy's wife, we were all driving. And all of a sudden we got towards Monument Valley and he goes, "I think the conditions are okay. Let's pull over here." We pulled over the side of the road at a basically an overlook at Mexican Hat. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but it's some monument called Mexican Hat. And one guy would stand in the road and halt traffic while the rest of us would try and launch. And we got up in the air and we flew through the valley, Monument Valley, and we landed at the Monument Valley Airport where everybody else, you might have seen.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That is cool. Yeah, I've been to Monument Valley. That is cool. That
was very cool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a
I'm
lot
getting chills just talking about it. But so that's probably the only reason I would do it again is I would go and I would fly and land at some of the most spectacular places that some of the other guys did. They landed at either on the top of a butte one time and just camped out there, or they landed at the entry of a slot canyon and they would land there with enough fuel to take off the next morning and get to the gas station, but that's where they stayed for the day. I mean,
That would be a good way to do it. So, I mean, you don't have to look at it as though it's a race, right? It's the journey, and you can that would be interesting.
Yeah. I was just so paranoid of getting from point A to point B. I was like laser focused.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would be more relaxed next time.
Right on. Well, you're more experienced.
Oh my God. Yeah. I came back and if I'm the wind dummy, nobody believes me because I'll be up there. They're like, "Hey, how's the wind?" I'm like, it's fine. They're like, "Screw that."
It's blowing. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
My bump tolerance is through the roof. Yeah.
I bet it's so. Hey, James, any questions in the super chat?
Yeah, we got Guardian Service Dogs. He's wanting to know how much experience did you have when you went down to the Wingman Challenge?
Not enough. So 6 years of flying, I learned that all I've done is fly in glass air. So I show up at the field with friends of mine and we're all like, "Hey, is it blowing? Or the treetops blowing?" "I don't want to fly. It's bumpy," because we didn't have to. So we get real spoiled. We fly in perfect conditions. Had I known what I was going to be flying in, I would have flown in a lot more adverse conditions so I could train for it. I've done one Cobra launch in my life. I needed to do a Cobra launch almost every single flight in the West. Yeah. It was crazy.
My question is, how much experience did you gain from the
Oh my
Wingman
God.
Challenge?
Yeah, a lot. A whole lot. So that's the best part, James. So I would say I walked out of there a much better pilot than I walked in, for better or worse.
Did you get a chance? Did you get a chance to fly in the Valley of Fire?
Yes. Flew over
You
the
felt-
Valley of Fire. Yeah. And over Lake Mead. I took off from a boat ramp going into Lake Mead that obviously the boat ramp is high and dry, right? There's like dirt for a mile. So I took off, a friend of mine, both Victor and I flew from the boat ramp, flew up the Lake Mead. We went over to Valley of Fire, flew around Valley of Fire, and then landed at there was an airport. I forget which the name of the airport was, but there was a skydiving outfit there. And we were using radios and calling and saying, hey, 2 PPGs on approach, blah, blah, blah. And that was all cool. But yeah, Valley of Fire was beautiful.
So one quick question. After 6 months of me learning to fly PPG, I decided to go to an SIV course. After the SIV course, I felt like it was like another 6 months of learning, even though it's just a weekend. So at 6 months, I felt like I've been flying for a year because of the SIV course. How much more experience did you feel like you gained on just your 3 days of the Wingman Challenge?
A ton. Yeah, I did. I haven't done an SIV course. I would like to. But I would say flying experience in high winds is much better. And also landing in places that I'm not comfortable with. You know, you have to land in places without a windsock because you're landing at gas stations. So you have to know which way the wind's blowing. So you're landing into the wind. So you're always, you know, checking whether you see little dust devils that are floating around, or if you're looking at, you know, a rain cloud up ahead that you can see the rain is coming in sheets this way. So, you know, that's probably the general direction of the wind. So that was important. Coming back, I've put together we just finished a poker run with our group. I don't know if you guys do poker runs up there. It's a way for you to fly to multiple locations, all places that you set up in advance. And you take off and you land and you hand out a card. You take off, you land, and hand out a card. You take off, land, and hand out a card. And you get like 5 flights in one day. Whereas normally we all just get to the field, we fly and we boomerang back and we land at the same place. That to me isn't a whole lot of experience. So coming back from the Wingman Challenge, I said, I would like to do more flights in places I don't know so that I get better at spot landings. And what if your motor goes out? I've had 5 motor outs in my career. It's, you know, you get better at it the more it happens, but doing it on purpose is a lot different. So we have a group of probably about 30 pilots in the area that are active in a group called the Air Dogs. And we're constantly trying to make each other better pilots. So my way of contributing is doing poker runs and arranging for different private airports to allow us to use their fields. It was pretty neat.
Okay, so you bring the deck with you as you go, and you guys all meet at one airport and then hand out the cards and then go to the next one?
Correct. So
Nice.
yeah, and so poker runs that are done on bikes or in other airplanes, usually you're not flying in groups. You're not in tight groups. You're spread out. So people will go ahead and they'll leave cards or decks at these places where people can just land, get their stuff and go. We did it to where I had the deck of cards, and it actually made us a little bit more conscious about how long we were staying on the ground. So we were in the air for an hour, but we were on the ground for an hour and a half. So we started at sunrise and we ended at like 10:30, right when the thermals were starting to kick. If we took longer, we probably would, you know, we would have been flying in midday and probably wouldn't have been very comfortable. A couple of the guys that flew with us said, this is the latest I've flown since I've been flying, you know? So it's that type of thing that you're doing with experience, and it's fun. It's kind of a game. You know, everybody pitches in $10 when you start. We had 7 pilots. The winner went home with $70.
So what we're doing with our poker run next weekend we're having is I cut about $half size tokens with my laser and put each airport's LZ information on it, and we just put it in an ammo box. So throughout the 2 days of the event, they bring back that token, and that's how they get their playing card. That way everybody can venture in their own directions. We've got 7 different airports we're using.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Any way that you can have, you know, proof that you were at the airport and you get a card for it. There was one guy that showed up and said, hey, you know what? It's too nice of a day. I really don't want to go. Can I just give you my money? You can give me my cards now. I said, no, that's not how it works. Yeah. I said, you can give me your money, but you're not getting any cards and you're not going to win.
We'll throw it in the pot.
Yeah. Thank you for your donation.
Yeah.
Awesome. It is 7:49, so let's go ahead and spin the spinning wheel and let Linda Anderson, our Paramount USA, welcome everybody to clearproptv.com.
Yay, yay. All right. Welcome, chatters. Welcome to Monday night. Look at that. That's a cool spinny winny wheel.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Look
No,
at that.
who is that?
Does anyone on the panel know who that is?
Oh,
That's-
wait, I've seen that.
Looks like Jim.
I'm not going to say. So
I've seen it in the Facebook chat. So
Steve.
somebody here. Yeah.
Is it Steve? No. Gosh.
I don't know.
Wow.
I think we found out who it was.
No, I was talking. I guess I was muted, but I'm just surprised that, wow. Okay.
Look at you, man. Larger than life.
I am huge, man. Look at me.
There you go. I said, what did I say? Oh, I said Steve because Scuba Steve. So that's right.
Yes, that's it.
Well,
That's
Linda,
definitely me.
well, Linda is
All
going
right.
down the list. Check to make sure your name's on there. And if not, let me know in the chat. We'll
Yes. All right. Welcome, chatters. We got Kramer in the house. We got Travis DuPont, John Wayne, Run Into the Sky Arc, Jason Tyler, Michael Jasper, Bonnie Franz, Bill H., John Beville, Slow Days, Flying Flamingo, my lovely. I Can Fly PPG, Guardian Service Dogs, James, Brian Franz, Shane Wyman, Angela Preslick, Jenny, Chef Shane, Shaney in the house. And I can't wait to see Brian and Bonnie at the fly-in this weekend. So the Torchport fly-in, yes, in Michigan. So I'm super excited to meet a lot of people I haven't met yet in person and get those
CT
tandems.
Fly wants to be added.
yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, there's the other Nick. And
Yeah.
who was the other one?
CT Fly.
CT Fly. Oh, yeah.
You know that the last people that get on the list always seems to win.
It does seem to, yeah.
So, just for fun, put Sean Simons at the very end and see if I win. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to take it, but if it spins and it lands on me,
This is rigged all along. Tony was right.
and we'll see if the spinny wheel, WILL, is actually.
You're
Can I
getting
copy my
dizzy.
spin?
Well, okay, so I can still shuffle though, because
Yes, please shuffle like you normally do. Shuffle, 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 shuffle.
Oh, I thought that was cool, and my face was on the spinning wheel that week. That was really cool.
Now
I even took
remember,
a-
guys, you may not win the spinny wheel, WILL, but you can always send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address below for runintothesky.org. It's a nonprofit organization to help disabled veterans and disabled people get training and adaptive flying machines if necessary. So check out runintothesky.org.
There you go.
Steve, I see you
Ready?
put your helmet on so we can all see that it's you.
Yeah, I got
And
it
your
on, but I don't have my
sunglasses.
sunglasses on, but they're out in my car. So
Oh.
yeah.
same helmet.
You ready?
Ready when you are, bro.
Hey,
Round
gonna
and round, Scuba
say-
Steve goes. Where he stops,
I'm
he'll
gonna
throw up.
say, I'm gonna say I Can Fly PPG.
I'm gonna go with Shane Wyman.
That's a
Bill
cool.
H.
I Can
I
Fly.
thank Bonnie Franz.
And
She
no,
always-
I gotta stick
I'm
with
gonna,
my
I'm
gut.
gonna say Kramer because she wins a lot too.
I got Flying
Is-
Flamingo. Flying Flamingo.
Is the other Nick PPG the other Nick? Or
Yes.
is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, man.
all right, Jade.
So
You're so
Jason
close.
Tyler.
Oh, I was not gonna make it to Bill H. Is it Bonnie?
Oh, it
Franz?
might be Slow Days.
Bonnie France. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It is. It is rigged.
Now, I
Bonnie
know
is-
what Slow Days is thinking. Slow Days is
told you
thinking
she
if
wins
only,
all-
Wait,
only,
Yeah.
Bonnie friends.
if
He
only we
always
didn't,
wins.
I know, but Slow Days is thinking, if only we didn't add Sean Simons to that list. Could have
Oh,
been.
I know, right?
Uh,
Hey, but I didn't win.
Shane,
So,
what the heck? When he sunned my channel, what are you talking about, Shane? Type correctly.
When he what?
Scuba became a winner when he sunned my channel.
Sung my channel?
SUN, sun, when he sunned my channel.
on my channel.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, I know that,
Drink, Shane.
I know that Bonnie and Brian, they had a lot of PPG calendars. So maybe James can send Bonnie that new decal. What do you think, James? You are on mute.
I can. Yep, I can. I've got her information.
Okay. All right,
Good.
Subbed my
JPPG.
channel. Subbed.
Oh,
Subscribe.
subbed your channel. Oh, okay. There you go, Shane. Yeah. I thought I did that a long time ago, though.
All right, we'll go ahead and spin the wheel in just a minute for the PPG calendar from carepp.com. Where did carepp.com go? Oh, Jim is in the background smelling his maple syrup, smelling money, of course.
He's eating food.
It's all about the
Jim
maple
Horton
syrup.
Donut.
What's that, Butch?
I said Jim Horton Donuts.
Ooh. Dang, those are good.
Yeah.
But you caught
Yeah.
up to me. I just want you to know. I got
wish
7
there was
flights,
Jim
and now
Horton.
you got 7 flights. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. Butch Fly just started flying, and he has 7 flights. And Scuba Steve's been flying for years and just hit his 7th flight.
No, 8, 1 year, not years.
Years.
Yeah.
He's been flying for years, man.
And you
Hey,
need
I can't go right down the street and fly like y'all can. I got a freaking Air Force base right next to me. I have to
Oh.
get permission and all that good stuff. Or
Where are you, Steve?
I'm on well, I was about to say the Eastern Shore. I'm not on the Eastern. I'm in Hampton, Virginia. So I'm right below
Okay. I know where you
Air
are.
Force Base.
You're next to ODU. That's where my son's going to go next year.
Oh, there you go. Y'all come on up here and fly. There's no mountains, so there's no paragliding
fine.
unless you jump off a building.
Nope. I would love to come down there and fly, but you can't go fly right outside. You got to leave what, AP Hill or something? What is it?
Well, you don't really want to go to Virginia Beach because it's too crowded, but Buckrow Beach is right on the edge of the airspace. And I'm pretty sure if I called Langley, they'd be like, "Oh, sure, man, go ahead." They're not worried about it.
All right. I'll look you up.
Okay.
I love going different places. The guys I fly with laugh at me because I keep saying I just want to see different cows. I'm tired of looking at the same old cows.
There you go. Got to see different cows.
Yeah. So I take my trailer and, sometimes my wife will say, I work from home. So sometimes she'll say, "Don't you have a business trip coming up?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I can make it a business trip." And I just get in the trailer and go.
There you go, because you want a moving experience.
Movie.
Got it.
Paramount, man, that was awesome. You
Nice.
win.
Thanks.
You win.
I did not know
So I
that,
got
Bill.
my game tonight.
Hey, James made a comment earlier. He said the women were really represented at Bad Apples, and his neighbor was a 13-year-old pilot. She's going to be on the show tomorrow night, Paramotor Hangout 8 p.m. on YouTube. So,
Oh, how do we get to that particular YouTube channel?
I have the answer to that question. You can go to ppgshane.com and it'll take you right there. It's going to be an awesome show.
Awesome.
Cool.
So make sure you guys go over to ppgshane.com, subscribe, hit that bell notification, because it sounds like tomorrow's podcast is going to be quite cool. Also, too, on Wednesdays, there's a Paramotor podcast. Go to paramotorgirl.com. On Thursday, something's going on Thursday. What's that, Miss Linda?
Yes, Thursday night. Paraglidingtalk.com with your host, Robert Michaels. And who is Robert Michaels, you may ask? that is my son. And he flies, he does paragliding. And that's how I got interested in all the paramotoring, paragliding, free flight, all that good stuff. And yeah, it's fun. I'm actually like the PR of his show. And I always tell him that I'm on the payroll, and he reminds me that I'm public relations. So
I think you're PR on like most of the shows.
yes, yes. Well, Paramount's work is never done. That's what it is. But yeah, check his show out on Thursday nights. It's a lot of fun. He always has some really cool guests, and I always learn a lot from everybody and all the shows and everything. So definitely check
Absolutely.
them out.
Also, Will, isn't there another fly-in that's going on in June between June 8th and 11th?
Oh yeah, the Fly for Gauge first annual fly-in. You will not want to miss this. I've flown that area. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's just perfect to bring the family and fly paramotors all weekend long. So June 8th through the 11th, Bowling Green, Florida. Be there, be square. I know I'm going to be there.
I wish I was going to be there. I'm going to be on a cruise.
Well, have fun. We'll be back.
Absolutely. Got to take my wife out someplace. She lets me go out and fly paramotors. So, we got to go do something fun together every once in a while, right?
Happy wife, happy life. That's right.
Right. Awesome.
Yep.
So, Mark, any plans on going back to Costa Rica or any more adventure trips or anything like that? Any flyings that you're going to go to in the future?
Yep. So one that I skipped out on because I've been doing way too many trips. And like you said, my wife lets me fly a lot. So Iceland is a trip that my wingman that backed out on me in Wingman Challenge, but the guy that I went to Costa Rica with, Satish, is going to Iceland with Scout. And another one of our Air Dogs guys, Steve, is going to Iceland. I know you asked me if I'm going, but that's one that I would love to go to, but I'm not. It's a beautiful trip. I am actually going with 6 other guys where we all rented or reserved spots at Oregon Inlet in the Outer Banks next month, actually. So we're going to go down and camp out in our various camper type trailers and tents. And we're going to fly from First Flight Airport and a couple other airports. And we're going to fly up and down the Outer Banks beaches. I'm definitely going to get in I have a Jeep too. So I'm going to get up to the 4-wheel drive beach area and fly up there as well.
Have you flown out of First Flight before?
I have.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tricky.
There's a lot of tall trees, but if you go early in the morning with no wind, you're good.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's actually pretty majestic. As far as a feeling, like, wow, this is pretty cool flying out of, the Wright Brother Memorial.
Yeah, it's a monument there, it's really nice.
It is. So you've flown out of there?
I have, once, and I'm glad I did. But we took off early, but early's relative when it comes to thermals, and man, when we landed, it was rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
We weren't real picky about where we landed. We just wanted to land, So.
Yep.
But I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my first beach or coastal flying was from there. And we actually flew in the evening when we got there. And it wasn't blowing on the ground, but when we got up in the air, it was blowing maybe about 15 miles an hour. So like an idiot, I went and said, hey, I want to go look at the beach. And I flew towards the beach and I got there real fast. And so I turned up the coast and I'm like, let me turn up here. And I kept drifting out. I'm like, that's weird. Yeah. So I turned inland and I was literally backing up until I let the trims out. Yeah. And I was shitting.
Yeah, spooky.
For 3 minutes, I crawled my way to the beach. It was freaky. Yeah, there's if you look at my YouTube channel, I have a whole clip on just that. Don't fly in offshore winds.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson to you. So, yeah, when I came back and I landed, like you said, in thermals, right in that little grass area between the tarmac and the runway. And I swear I landed and I kissed the ground.
I can relate, you know, I mean, had a few
Yeah.
of those. Bill
Yeah.
H says that's on his bucket list.
To fly offshore winds?
No, no, I don't think so. I think he's talking about first flight, but yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely encourage you to do that. And make sure you check out the museum next door too.
Yep.
Didn't you say that you had a collapsed wing over the bay? I think that's what you said when we were talking on the pre-show. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. Yeah. So one of our trips where we go drive to places and fly some places every once in a while on camp, I went to Ocean City with 4 or 5 other pilots. And we went to the Ocean City airport, got permission to take off from there. And I don't know if anybody that grew up around here in the Virginia area has ever gone to Ocean City, like when you were a kid or in high school or whatever, and you see all those planes that go by with the little sign that says "Eat it," whatever, or Phillips and stuff like that. We did exactly that. We flew along the beach and it was fantastic. And on the way back, one of the guys that was going to fly with us didn't take off because it was a little windy and he had to do a reverse and he wasn't that comfortable with it. So he had decided to stay at the airport and wait for us to come back. We all had radios. And so as we're coming back, we were telling him, hey, we're inbound. What's it like there? And he's like, there's an Apache that's sitting here on the tarmac that's not winding down. You're not going to want to land anytime soon. So stay out there. So I stayed out there. And as I'm out there, it's getting windier and windier. And I'm over, there's the end of the runway. And then there's like a little inlet that's kind of a barrier island where the horses cross. And it's called Assateague, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm flying all over that area, just kind of stalling and waiting for this Apache helicopter to leave. And as I'm flying over the water and then to the sand and then to the water, I'm getting turbulence because it's different type of air. And I hit one that just all of a sudden my wing was in front of me and I freaked out. So I hit my throttle and then of course I'm looking at the sky and I let go of my throttle. And when I came back around, I had like a 3/4, maybe half a asymmetrical collapse, and it popped back out before I really knew what was going on. And I was only like 200 feet off the ground. There's no way a reserve was going to help me. And so at that time I got on the radio and I was like, hey, is that thing gone? Because I'm going to come over and land. I don't care if he's there or what. And the guy that was there on the ground, he said, I could hear it in your voice. I went over to that guy or one of the guys that was standing there. I was like, I got a guy coming in. He's going to land. So they took off and I came in and I was able to land. But I was like, I'm just landing. I don't care where. I need to get on the ground. Yeah, that was scary.
Wow, that does sound pretty scary. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to an SIV and I pulled, lines and make things collapse, but I've never been out where it just collapsed on its own. So yeah, I'm sure that's really super scary. I'm glad that you're okay though.
Me too. Yeah.
Excellent.
I learned that muscle reflex of grabbing the throttle. You need to think about that. Like all of a sudden you're like, ooh. So that's what I did, right? I was like, oh, don't do that.
Absolutely.
How far off the ground were you? 20 feet?
No, 200.
200 feet.
About 200.
Yeah.
Reserves have been successfully thrown at 50 feet.
Mm.
So 200, you had plenty.
Yeah. Reaction time, though, by the time I figured everything out, yeah, you're right. I should have, yeah. But I didn't need to, thankfully. And if I had, I probably would have, it might have been bad because I would have probably landed in the water. And, knowing from an SIV course, if you land in the water with a deployed reserve, you're getting dragged. So.
Yeah, well, it was a lake. So when I threw a reserve, I landed in a lake. It was just calm. We just had to be careful about all the alligators swimming around. But other than that, it was
yeah. I don't like alligators.
Just alligators, no big deal.
Yeah.
All right, Will, you want to spin your spinny wheel one more time? And we are going to be spinning this for a PPG calendar at ppgcalendar.com. Brought to you today by our very own, where'd he go? Oh, he's not even here.
Who?
Jim, our maple syrup, Jim.
Did we lose him? Yeah, we lost him.
Wow. So from carepp.com from Jim in Canada with his maple syrup smelling money, we're going to be giving away a calendar for him. Thank you very much, Jim. I guess he's finding that donut shop that Butch Fly was talking about.
All right.
Well, what was that donut place, Butch?
Tim Hortons. Tim
I don't think
Hortons.
I've ever been there. Is it good?
I've heard of Tim Hortons.
Yeah, the best donuts in the world. They got these little round things. I don't know what they are, donut holes or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yum,
the
yum.
donut holes. Oh, those are delicious.
Aren't they?
Where
Yeah.
where are they? I mean, where's a
They're up
Horton-
north.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't it Canadian?
yeah, they're Canadians.
Yeah, really.
Huh.
It's a,
Then you have to email me one of those donuts so I can taste it.
I'd say it's a Canadian equivalent of Krispy Kreme, but better.
It's
Really?
better.
home of Canadians' favorite coffee.
Oh, I got in so much trouble when I was down south there because we didn't go back and stop at the Krispy Kreme that we seen.
Oh,
We have a Krispy Kreme right in my neighborhood, which is very dangerous.
They got one that I can see out of my kitchen. I looking out my window, out my kitchen window, I can see the red light from a
Oh.
Krispy Kreme.
The hot
Oh,
sign.
that hot
That's
sign's on.
The hot sign.
That's
right
the one
back
we
on
were
the-
talking about.
Yeah.
Jeez, how sad. Not all I did is grow up with Dunkin' Donuts. That's
They
a
were
Midwest.
good.
That's a Dunkin' Donuts, Midwest.
got
thing or
Dunkin'
whatever.
Donuts, Krispy Kreme, and Duck Donuts all within a mile from me.
Ah, I think Dunkin' Donuts has been around longer than any of them, right?
yes.
They survived. They survived. Boy.
I had all of them around me, I'd be in so much trouble.
You say the word, Sean, and I'll spin her.
All right, word.
Word.
Quick shuffle here, and oh yeah, I took you off.
Well, that's not fair.
I'll go with Travis DuPont this time around.
Run into this guy.
Oh, it's the Guardian.
I'm gonna give
Blind Flamingo.
Michael
Slow Days.
Jasper.
Slow Days got robbed last time.
He did.
Yeah, Slow Days.
All right, we'll vote Slow Days too.
My buddy Slow Days.
Brian Franz, he's got to win something since Bonnie won something.
Flying Flamingo.
Ooh.
Michael Jasper.
Yeah, the
Flying
flying
Sky's
finger.
looking pretty good here.
Travis. Ooh, it's gonna be
The
Angela or
president.
Run into the
It's gonna be
Sky.
Come on, run into the sky. Come on,
Run into the sky.
Who said that?
Oh,
I
Nice.
said run in the sky because, that's our nonprofit, so, we got to win something here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Woo,
Okay.
Run into the Sky. Like I said, if you've never been to Run to the Sky, go to runintothe.sky.org. So we are going to go ahead and donate that calendar. So let's go ahead and spin it one more time.
Oop, premature, whatever that was. Let me go back. All right, so we're gonna spin it again.
I was
Absolutely.
talking, dadgummit. Okay,
What, were you saying something?
it's okay. I didn't say anything important, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry, Scoot. You were on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that now.
You guys on mute, man, I tell you.
Hey, shout out to Flying Flamingo. Did you see that Zach flew from one island in the Hawaiian Islands to another on a paramotor?
Yeah, he was on our show not too long
Was he
ago.
really? So yeah, I was on Jade's show with him, with Zach, a little while ago. So did he talk about that flight?
Oh yeah, exclusively. It was
All right, I'm gonna have to go
Maybe
back
it's
and
gonna
watch
be
your archive.
Shane. Maybe it's gonna be Shane
other Nick.
Ryan.
No, it's a
Shane.
Guardian service dog.
Guardian.
Shane,
He's on Paramotor
Shane?
Hangout.
is it?
Paramotor
Is it?
Hangout. That's gonna
Oh,
be
so
great.
close.
Already in.
Guardian Service Dog wins
Right.
again.
Congratulations,
Yay.
Guardian Service Dogs.
We need some kind of like party music with
That's
that.
messed
like
up. My
YouTube,
face is on the wheel and I'm not on the wheel. That's messed up.
Yeah, but you're on the panel, so.
Oh,
Yeah, you're close to Will, and that's like the spinny wheel.
I
That's
got
right.
you. I got you.
All right, Guardian Service Dog. You won the PPG calendar from ppgcalendar.com. And from what I hear, if you go to ppgcalendar.com and you sign up for a free account, he sends out stuff throughout the month for no reason, just for fun. So make sure you go to ppgcalendar.com and get yourself that free account. Maybe you'll have something fun in the mail that you didn't even know about. Well, anyway, I had a wonderful time, Mark. I had a wonderful time chatting with you. It sounds like you've had an amazing time flying. Not so much on that one trip, but you still loved it nonetheless.
Yep. Yeah, it was a trip that I wouldn't give up for sure. It was fun, but it was scary as well. So that was the best and the worst trip of my life, my career.
That's awesome.
Not
That's
over
awesome.
yet. There's still time.
That's
I
true.
No,
Thanks, Will.
I'm sorry.
And who
Thank you
knows,
for
you know,
having me, guys.
and who knows too, you know, maybe the next time you go, you'll have so much skill that you'll be like, wow, I can't believe that I was worried about this. Look at my Cobras, man. My Cobras go up fine. I do reverses. These bumps don't bother me. Who knows?
Mhm.
Linda, when is this Torchport fly-in? When, you know, who's all going? How can people go see this thing? Go to it. What?
Gosh, it's Memorial Weekend, which is this weekend. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have it right here. I have my little notes here that because I screenshot it. So
Should
it's
have
May
memorized that.
20 Yeah, it's till the 29th. So it's Friday, Saturday.
27, 28, 29th, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
And it's somewhere in Wisconsin, right?
It's in Michigan. Yeah, it's
Michigan,
in
my
Michigan.
bad. I got
Yeah.
state mixed up. Michigan.
Yeah, it's in Michigan, Torchport Air Park. And Tracy Base and Tracy and Tim are putting on the fly-in. And on Saturday morning, there's going to be a pancake breakfast and it starts at 8 to like 11:30. It's a charity. Everything goes, the whole event, everything goes to charities. That whole weekend, which is really
So you're
cool.
going, Bonnie Franz is going, Brian Franz is going.
Yes. The
Flying
Lears will be
Jade.
there because the Lears will be there because Eric's going to take me up when I get there, whatever. I'm going to go on my second tandem
And
and
third,
maybe do a
fourth.
third one. Maybe
Yeah.
one. I'll be like schmoozing around, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, can you take me on a tandem, Justin? So, you know, we'll see. Because there's going to be a whole bunch of people there. And
Cool.
Mike Carter's going to be there. You know, he's an instructor at school in downstate. It's I think it's St. Joseph's, Michigan. And so he'll be there. I got to meet him last year. So that was really cool. And I got to meet Jeremy. And that was really fun too. And I think he's going to stop by on Friday or Saturday or whatever. But yeah, I'll be rolling up there about Saturday morning and have some pancakes and then get on the parent, get a tandem.
So the next time we see you, you will be another flight behind you, right? Or are y'all going to go live or something from up there?
Oh, we will. Bonnie's going to take the video and everything, she said. So
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Make sure you get some video of it. You need
Oh,
another
yeah.
video.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of people up there. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I had such a great experience last year, with Eric and Jade, and it was just Northern Lights Paramotors, LLC. And I had so much fun. I had such a good experience for, going up for the first time. And that really, when you have a good pilot and that both Jade and Eric took good care of me and made sure that I, got up in the air safely, and they made me feel comfortable. And that means, that makes a big difference from
Oh, definitely.
for somebody like
Especially
me
if
that,
if you're scared to go up to start off with, if they can calm you down enough to get you up there, and then you go,
Yeah.
oh, this isn't so bad. Then you get excited to go again. That's good.
I know I told you I was poor Eric, we had our headsets on. I was yelling so loud that I don't even know what I was. Yeah, I was just ecstatic up there. And then when we landed, I was like crying and laughing, and everybody was there, and gave me hugs. And it was just a really cool experience. So
It's
I
funny
wanna
how you
share
can
that with
hear people on the ground, because I know I could hear Butch when he was up in the air, like way up there. I'm like, go.
See, you can't help it but yell when you're up there, it's such a cool feeling. I'm so glad that I did it, because, I wanted to know what all this excitement was about. And that's why, got to the flying, and I kept thinking about it. Should I go up? Should I go up? And I've been talking about, for a year. I don't know. And before I knew it, I was sitting in that seat, and we were up in the air, and I'm like, all right.
You would have hated yourself if you didn't get in that seat. You'd have been like, why didn't I do it? Why?
Yes.
So I'm glad you did.
Even Robert didn't even know I was going to do it. And when I landed and everything, I called him on the speakerphone. He's like, you what? That is so cool, Mom. So now his brother, Ryan and Leslie are both going to be with me. They're taking me over there. So Ryan wants to go on a tandem. So it's going to be really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
90% of the tandem training is all about people, teaching and making your customer, your passengers feel comfortable, and recognizing whether or not they really should be flying or not. It's interesting. When I took the training, you already know how to fly pretty much. It's mostly about making your passenger feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing you want to do is get up in the air and then the passenger freak out while you're up there. You don't need that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
I'll start flailing all over the place. That would be really bad.
I think they thought I was going to come down within 5 minutes or whatever, because I watched the video. Jade took the video last year, and I watched the video, and she's talking to Eric, and it's like, no, but this year I want to do, what do you call it? When you fly by, is that what it's called?
You gonna buzz the fly in? Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You act like you're going to land, but then you just go right by.
Is this a trike or is this foot launch that you do a tandem?
Oh, trike.
Yeah.
Trike.
So
Yeah.
they may do a touch and go. That'd be fun.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna do a touch. Okay. Either way, you can fly by
There's so much terminology out there,
Yeah.
bear with me. Sometimes I've learned so much in the last couple of years. So all the lingo, last 4 years, you guys know. I mean, I was so proud of myself when I just learned landing zone, when I knew what that meant. I was like, I was making notes, remember, during the show?
Yeah.
Grandpa? I would write down notes.
Yeah, I remember.
I was always asking questions and stuff. And so anyway.
Yeah. Now you know what an LZ is.
Yeah. I'm like, I know what that is.
That's awesome.
But now I know about a lot of the stuff, and I'll text Robert sometimes, and I'll throw some terminology out there, and I'm like, was that a wing over or whatever? And he'll go, yeah, that's what it was. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Very cool.
Anyway. So.
Sounds good. Well, Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I forgot to ask you how long we have you for, and we went over the hour mark already, and we have a habit of going over an hour anyway. So
all good. I would have dropped if I didn't want to be here. It was a pleasure being here. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all your stories. All of your information is down below. So if you guys want to know more information about Mark, just look in the description down below. Everything from his YouTube channel to his bio. So check that out. So once again, Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate
it. Hope to see everybody in person sometime.
Thank you.
You're just to the north, Mark. We got to get together and fly sometime.
Where exactly are you?
On the show, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. In Raleigh.
I'm looking at an RV down there. I might come by and say hi.
Come on down.
All right.
There you go.
He don't have any stickers or anything on the signs that say "We'll fly this way," so you're gonna have to search really hard.
I
That's
don't
a
know.
good
JB might be able to make a bunch of decals for.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All on the
just
expressway, I
thinking
didn't
that.
see a single wheel fly sticker. I'm disappointed.
Man.
We're gonna start seeing them on gas stations near you anytime soon.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks,
See you
Mark.
guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Be safe.
Thanks, Mark.
What a
That
great.
was fun.
Once again, definitely thank everybody for everything that they do. Will Fly, he is our treasurer for the nonprofit organization. He is the Spinny Will, WILL, over here on the Clear Prop TV, which is also a nonprofit organization. So thank you very much for everything that you guys do to help us out. Also, JBPPG.com does so much for us, and he's also a director of merchandise over at runintothesky.org. And tell us a little bit about your company and all the cool stuff that you do, bud.
Basically right now I'm focused on paramotor. I don't know what you call it. Oh, I'm just gonna say coffee cups, of course. Tumblers, decals. I'm doing a lot of vinyl window decals right now. I'm enjoying that too. And just whatever my head can think of when I got time.
So I have a question for James.
Go ahead.
So like for paramotor merch or whatever, somebody wanted stickers that had their logo on it, or they wanted cups or whatever with like they wanted to customize stuff. You do all that?
Yes, yes, that's one of my favorite things to do because it's not the same repetitive thing. It's something different. And that's what I'm doing now with going to the fly-ins. I'm setting my enclosed trailer up as a mobile unit where I can make custom stuff right at the fly-in.
Man,
So,
that's
say you
that's a
get
good
a
idea.
picture that your wife took or girlfriend took of your launch with the sunset behind you or whatever, and you like that so much, one on a shirt or a mouse pad or tumbler or something, I'll be able to do that right there.
That's
Awesome.
perfect.
Yeah, I got lucky at this flying. Somebody took 83 pictures of me. I was like, "Daggum, dude." I just got lucky. He was flying near me. So I got a lot of pictures now.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much. We definitely appreciate you, JB, and everything that you do. Go over to jbppg.com. That's jbppg.com. Make that free account, and he sends out stuff sporadically throughout the month for no reason, and we definitely appreciate that. Also, I hear that I'm worth 10% over at your store too. What is that all about?
Yep, if you put in there when you go to check out all capital PPG Grandpa, it is worth 10%.
I tell you what, between you guys, I'm worth 20%. All we need is a couple more people that can make me worth more than 10%, and I'll be 100% eventually. So until then,
You'll be 100% grandpa.
I am 100% grandpa right now. I'm good. I'm definitely good with that. Very happy. So thank you very much, jbppg.com. We also got Butch Fly. You can find him at ppgbutch.com. He's on his 7th flight. He is our first candidate that we had over at Run Into the Sky, and you foot launch and trike. Man, you are just kicking some butt out there and taking names, aren't you, buddy?
Well, I had a really good instructor.
Oh, go on. No, really, go on. Go on.
Paramotor Arkansas, man. He's real good. Check him out.
And definitely we appreciate you, Butch, because Butch actually, he lived in Alabama and he decided to move over here to be closer to Run to the Sky and Paramotor Arkansas and actually help us out. And he's actually a volunteer at Run to the Sky right now. So, man, definitely appreciate all the help that you've been giving us. Man, I needed the help because man, it's a lot of work doing all this stuff.
Yes, it is. Now, I just want to give back. I love the way the paramotor community is just, they're awesome. Everybody is awesome. Everybody's encouraging, loving. So I just gotta help.
Right on.
Right on, bud. Right on. So thank you very much, Butch Fly. He's has his very own YouTube channel that he's starting off, ppgbutch.com. If you go over to ppgbutch.com, don't search for it in a Google search. Actually type it in ppgbutch.com. It will forward over to his YouTube page. Hit subscribe, hit that bell notification. I think he only has what, 10 subscribe or 12 subscribers?
10 on PPG Butch or 12 on that one, and then 10 on Butch Fly, one of the two.
Gonna have to consolidate, dude.
Yeah. ppgbutch.com. So he has like 12. Go over there and help him up a little bit. ppgbutch.com. Thank you so much, Butch, for everything you're doing in the background too. Also, Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. He does a lot of stuff on his YouTube channel. He creates a lot of amazing content. You definitely need to go over to willflyppg.com. Tell us a little bit about what you do and also the flying for gauge.
Yeah, Fly for Gauge is I'm gonna start with that. That's June 8th through the 11th. I'm not kidding when I say it's one of the best places for paramotors that I've seen. So 2 huge LZs, plenty to do for the family. Bowling Green, Florida, June 8th through the 11th. You won't want to miss it, guaranteed. As far as my videos, I just like flying, and I create videos about my adventures and the adventures of others. And if you like corny humor, check it out at willflyppg.com.
.com. Is it bunch of dad jokes on there too?
You know, I don't know. Some of them would qualify as dad jokes. All right. Some of them.
Good.
Some
Okay,
of them
good.
A little bit over the dad joke limit. So
That's good.
check it out and judge for yourself, you know?
I know if you have not gone to Will Fly's page, go to willflyppg.com, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification. Man, he puts out some really good content.
Thanks. And Butch, I just subscribed to your channel, man.
Oh, look at you. Up to what, 13 now? Woohoo.
Yeah, I think I was number 12, but you know what? That makes Butch number 1.
It does.
Numero
You're number
uno.
1.
Yeah, because you'll have like numbers as you go through your students, and it's like Butch would be number 1, right?
He's always number. Yeah, he will always be number 1 for forever in perpetuity. You'll be number 1 as the first candidate through Run to the Sky.
Right on,
There
man.
you go.
Congratulations.
We're gonna have to make a big bust of him, a big statue of Butch Fly standing like this. There we go. Absolutely. All right. Speaking about big bust, Scuba Steve, what's up? And
I thought you forgot about me. I was like, oh, you can go ahead. What I do a show on Fridays mainly about vaping, but and teaching vaping stuff, but also talk about paramotors 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. You can find me at paramotordude.com. That'll take you right over to my YouTube channel. I just posted 2 videos of the fly-in that I just went to. The first one has 0 editing whatsoever, and the second one has very crappy editing, but at least I tried.
At least you got the information out there. That's what's important.
There you go. Yeah.
You're gonna need a tutoring from Will Fly.
I know, right? I put it in the chat. I was like, hey, he needs to give us a how-to on what he does, because but if he's using a Mac, there's no way. They got tools that we can't use on a PC.
Well, you could use them on PC. You just use you use a Premiere, right? So you just use a different
Either
app.
Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, which is free. So,
or just get a Mac and come over to the dark side.
I got a Mac, but it's a really old Mac. Holy moly, it's old. I'm not very good on a Mac.
I still got a 2006 Mac Pro, the big tower one that cost like $3,000 back in the day. And I think my watch has more power than that now.
How old is this one? I mean, this not, wow, that's blinding.
Sideways. Oh yeah, that's like rectangular on the edge.
It looks pretty old, doesn't it? Yeah, it's old.
Chunky thing.
Chunky monkey.
I got one of those too, Steve.
We all have one of those older computers. Remember you guys had to deal with the I had to deal with that black and white screen for years.
We had to deal with that black.
Yeah,
and
we had to
white
deal with
screen
it,
for
yeah.
years. It didn't affect you.
And that horrible audio, I tell you what, after you got your new computer and we can
know.
see you and we can hear you, you're a different person.
Exactly. No
I
kidding.
go with just send it. Of course, Shane. Do
He's
that
got
on your
a whole
cooking
studio.
show. Just send it so we can see fires and stuff.
Yeah, Linda's got a whole new studio and everything now.
I
Awesome.
I love this. I love my laptop. I do. I literally, when I opened up the box for Christmas, because you know Ryan and Leslie bought me a laptop. I did not expect it at all. And I thought I was getting an air fryer for Christmas because I kept hinting when we go to Walmart, you know. And so when they had me the box, I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. And I opened it up and I just looked at them and I started crying. I'm like, no way. You
No,
guys
I
have-"
wanted an air fryer, not a.
Yeah, they were laughing. They go, oh, you thought you were getting an air fryer, didn't you? And I was like, wow, this is way better. Oh my goodness.
I should be
Yeah.
editing on my laptop because it's way newer than my home PC is.
Bill
Go
H
figure.
says he has an Apple IIe.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm old enough to know what he's talking about too.
Yeah, yeah.
man.
I had one of those.
And
that's
he's
smart.
watching the podcast on it right now.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my Lord.
Hey,
Did they
bet
even
you-
have the internet? They didn't even have the internet back then, did they?
I don't think so.
Back
don't
then,
think they
oh my gosh, I feel old.
Wait a minute.
now.
I was gonna say, how did Will Fly not get any sunburn? But he probably didn't even go outside.
Dude, I did. I got plenty of sun. Trust me, you just can't tell. But no, I was red as a beet.
Okay, because I know I can tell I'm darker for sure. I got crispy. I had on sunblock and still got crispy. So
Yeah, use that
crispy
sunscreen.
cream.
did
yeah.
you fly like? Did you wait till most people left and then fly on like Monday?
I didn't. I flew. I had one flight, and it was for 30 minutes. And I
Wow.
was satisfied, 100% satisfied, because I did not want to leave the crowd. That's
Okay.
where all the action is, and it's so pretty just being down there talking about it. It's nice to be the judge. You know what I mean? Just got to sit back and watch landings.
Yeah.
And watch. You actually learn a lot doing that. You know, but it's a
That's
great.
good.
Cool.
You guys had decent weather anyway, so that was a plus. You
It was a
know,
plus because we weren't expecting that decent weather. So
yeah.
we
Yeah, it's
fly
gonna
all
be
day long.
Saturday, it's gonna be 70-ish and sunny. And
As long as you don't get the gusts like we had. Holy moly. Yeah, those should be gone now, hopefully.
Yeah, we just coming towards you. We just went through 3 days of just smooth glass air of an evening.
Wow.
So that'd be heading your direction, hopefully.
Hey, I'll go flying then somewhere.
yeah,
We have smooth glass air for the next couple of days
Butter.
over here.
butter.
And one good thing about being a paramotor instructor over at Paramotor Arkansas is that we work from sunup to sundown 7 days a week, but that also means too that we get up and go fly every morning and every evening and sometimes midday, and we just fly.
Good for you, man.
Absolutely.
I'm jealous of that. Damn it.
Well, you know, just quit your job and come over here and
No. If I quit my job, I'd have to be training paramotor pilots, and I can't do that yet. So that's not. Got to make money somehow, you know.
We have a lot of fun over here. Butchfly is going to be going up early again tomorrow, so I think that we probably need to wrap this up so we can get some sleep, because I tell you what, it's getting early in the morning where the sun comes up. What is it, 6 o'clock now that
Yeah,
sunrise?
5:53 was what ours was.
Yep, so we can almost get up at, or almost fly at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be nice until 11 o'clock, still butter. So, I mean, we're going to have to land a couple times just to fuel up to continue to fly.
Oh my gosh, that means on Saturday, I gotta be up by 6 o'clock because I'm gonna be like so excited. And
You won't
get
be
over
able
there.
to sleep because that's what happened to me. But
Yeah.
6 is early.
I went up at 6:30. By 7:30, the wind was crap. So, I mean, but that was because of that storm. So yeah, usually you can stay up longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
you
right, guys. Any last thing that we want to talk about before we sign off?
Mm,
nope, when we go on the after private show or whatever, then I always have a question after, so.
Sure, we can do that.
leave
All right.
the
So
show.
thank you very much, Mark Barron, that came on the show today, our guest, man, amazing guy. All the
That was
information is down below. Check out his YouTube channel, check out his bio. This is the first time that you've just joined us. Well, rewind, go back and listen to the whole thing over again. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And you can also listen. Yeah, and you can listen on your favorite podcasting app. Just search for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. JBPPG.com, James Bevel, thank you so much for everything that you do for the show. Definitely appreciate you. Butch Fly from PPGButch.com, thank you so much for everything that you've done for me over here, helping out and learning how to fly, being safe. Definitely awesome. You did really good. Real quick for you guys. He went out to the field, had everything laid out. Everything was ready to go. And he goes, you know what? I don't feel it. Packed it up, put it away.
Good.
Now that is a good pilot. When you just don't feel it, when you're ready, when you're already laid out and you're like, I don't feel it, I'm just gonna pack up. So good for you, Butch. Good job.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's better to do that than risk it and take off. And then, I knew I should have put my stuff away. At that point, it's too late, so.
Right.
Absolutely.
Great instructor taught me better to be on the ground wishing you were in the air than in the air wishing you were on the ground.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. So good for you,
I
Butch.
was wishing I was on the ground Thursday.
I bet you were. Bet you were.
Thank you Sean, for everything you do, man.
Thank you. I also got Scuba Steve from ParamotorDude.com. He has an awesome podcast talking about vaping and paramotors on Friday. So make sure you go over to ParamotorDude.com and check that out. Also, our very own Linda Anderson. You can go over to Paramount USA if you want to be on the show. It forwards over to her Facebook page, PM her and say, yo, I want to be on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. Wait a minute. I want to be on Linda's podcast. I think that's yeah, that's it.
That's
I
right.
want to be on Linda's podcast. I don't know who this grandpa guy
Your
is.
show, Paramount.
So she's got her own show. Her son is an awesome guy. Does the paraglidingtalk.com every Thursday night over
That's
at
right.
paraglidingtalk.com. Definitely check that out too. Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. Man, he makes incredible videos. If you haven't been over to his YouTube channel, check it out at willflyppg.com. And also one more bump for Fly It for Gauge. Go ahead, Will.
June 8th through the 11th, Bowling Green, Florida. You won't want to miss it. Check it out.
Is there a .com? Is there a page? How do we know more about this?
Okay, and I'm sorry I don't have that, but I can tell you that if you search on Facebook for Fly It for Gauge, GAIGE, it'll pop right up.
Excellent.
There you go.
Wish I was able to go, but I have to go on a cruise with the wife and be out in the sun, laying out, not thinking about anything, drinking big old margaritas and $20 cups. You know how that works out there.
Yeah, I ran out of vacation time with this past fly-in, and we ain't even halfway through the year yet. Sucks.
Man. Hey, really good thing over at Paramotor Arkansas and Run to the Sky, unlimited PTO. Yep.
Nice.
You might want to check it out one of these days. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for everything you do. Like I said, we are running a nonprofit organization called runintothesky.org. We're going to be putting up a brand new website very soon, hopefully in a couple of weeks before June 1st. And if not, man, it's just an incredible website. Lots of things to do over there. If you want to help us out, of course, in the interim, we have the address down below. You can send us a self-addressed stamped envelope with any gift, and we will send you some amazing stickers and other things too. And if you want to just throw us a couple of bucks, we got a Cash App at Run Into the Sky. So thank you very much, guys. We appreciate you. You have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Where we will not be live, we will be Memorex. We pre-recorded a couple of podcasts, so we will still do the show, but it won't be live. So make sure you go there and check that out. They will premiere at the same time at 7 p.m. Central on this channel. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you when you run into the sky.
Much love.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
figure out some way of making that a run into the sky thing.
There you go.
All right, so we killed that one, and we were going to say goodbye and good night to everybody on our audio. Good night, everybody on our
Bye,
audio. We definitely
everybody.
appreciate you.
Bye.
James, did you want to do a secret one of those mystery boxes?
Yeah, because no one's still claimed yet. So keep
Man.
it going until it's claimed.
All right, well, how do we get this mystery box real quick, since this is just the audio version now?
So they're gonna have to I'm just gonna say for now, just send me a text message at 309-255-8936. Just say mystery box and we'll go from there.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, JB. Appreciate it. And we are Audi 5000. Boop.
Mhm.